All right. So let's get started then. Could you close the door, please? Thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining the class. This is a class about the internet security architecture. We have a architecture means many things, but basically internet security, this class is not focusing on a kind of technological specific discussion alone, but also the other social policy strategy, and especially focusing on a new things happening around the cybersecurity area. So during this time, this class, we're gonna be facing with many things already, expected events around the cybersecurity is big one happening. So those are the new topics so that you can feel the kind of today, this time of the history from the cybersecurity point of view as well. All right, so first of all, let me check. This class is supposed to be providing you in English like this. Is this okay? 英語なんて聞いてねえ俺。それ困るよっていう人手挙げてください。大丈夫ですか？奈良の人は？奈良の人は大丈夫ですか？
Yes, we are all international students.
All right, everybody. All right, that's great. So my English is not always very good, but I'm all right. And I'm working on various things in English, so I can tell a story in English with a interesting story, secret story. So 秘密. In the cybersecurity area, a lot of 秘密, secret thing. And so anyway, all right. So what should we do? Let me first introduce the NARA Advanced Institute of Science and Technology graduate school classes joining us. So connecting. So this is a connected class with two university class. This is very special, but we've been running this for more than 20 years. So it's like a historical asset of both of the universities. So we are proud of that. This class, by the way, was designed to see them in the back, right? So it's like a continuous classes all the way to NARA Institute. So, so I can point out that, oh, do you have an opinion with the striped shirt students over there? We can do that. So we can do very interactive classes with them. So which is nice. And let me introduce a professor of NARA Advanced Institute of Science and Technology first. Happen to be in here, Yuki-san, Kadobayashi sensei.
Hi everyone, this is Yuki. I just came back from Paris, France this early morning, and because of that, I'm here.
Oh, I see.
You know? so from time to time, I'll come here, and this is joint lecture, so it's very important to have people come and go. And like Murai Sensei said, the internet security touches lots of topics, and we are inspired by you guys. Right? So this is very important because the internet is evolving almost every 3 months, and we have lots of new topics every 3 months, and like drones, for instance. Drone is very important part of the internet, and you may not believe it, but it will change the world, like the way we build houses, and like the way we measure things and mine resources, etc. And likewise, 3D printers, and what else? Quantum computers, and what else? Robots. Yeah, so, internet is kind of empowering lots of devices and lots of resources, even this kind of classroom, etc. So that's fundamental. I mean, the internet security is ever evolving because of those new applications, new services, and new businesses like cloud and the new gizmos, and so that's very important. And we are inspired almost every year by those new topics that you guys are bringing into this class. So I hope you enjoy this class, and let's build the interesting class together. Thank you.
Thank you. Another professor in this class at the SFC side is Sakamoto Sensei.
I'm Yasuo Sakamoto. I'm a project professor of Murai Sensei's laboratory. I had worked at the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication for more than 30 years. I was in charge of ICT policy. And as you know, cybersecurity is one of the most important issues for government, private sector. I'd like to contribute to your learning from the viewpoint of ICT policy. Thank you.
Thank you. So Yuki-san is a super expert on computer security, network security area as a researcher and also the policy discussant. And Sakamoto Sensei has been involved with the regulator side and the policy decision side in the government and the graduating the government and then becoming a professor to share his experiences and the wisdom with the next generation like you are. Okay, so and the additional professor we have is Takeda-san I mentioned about. So he's missing this class today because he's operating the drone, searching for the missed kid in the obvious Yamanashi prefecture. The kid has not been found for 4 days now, I believe, and it's a 24-hour search is going to be necessary. So the nighttime drone operation could be done with a very few people, including himself. Therefore, at night he's been working on that. So yeah, if you are interested in his work, then his twittering his work and the images. But anyway, so he's an expert on the cybersecurity as well. He came from Defense Air Force in Japan. Is that Air Force? Air Defense. And he's a graduate of SFC actually, and he got the PhD in here. And then I don't know. He went to the Jietai Defense, and then came back and get the PhD, and then doing the professor of when Carnegie Mellon University created the cybersecurity graduate school in Hyogo Prefecture. He was sent from CMU Pittsburgh to operate there. Then after that, he came back to Keio University. So that's Takeda-san. And then let me introduce Saikawa-san.
Hi, good morning. This is Masaki Sato. I'm a project associate professor of the Graduate School Media and Governance Keio University. And this lecture is a very special and very good opportunity can discuss and can opinion exchange each different universities. And my major research is intelligent transport systems and automotive telematics, including auto driving, the 自動運転. So I'd like to share with you about what is autopilot and what is emerging threat and how to tackle the new technology. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And do we have Taenaka Sensei in Nara?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me do this. So I'm Yuzo Taenaka, the associate professor of the Big Senses Laboratory. So I'm actually on the area of internet. technology. So I can discuss from that perspective. Also, actually, as Yuki Sensei says, he's always going around on the world. So I'm basically arrange the nice part of lecture. So, but if you have some questions or discussion, I can talk with you from that internet technology aspect. So, nice meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. この間のボードの時の俺のスライドってあるよね。あれにインターネットホールオブフェイムのスライドあるよね、最後に。あれを出せる準備をしながら TA と SA。we have yeah, why don't we start from the nice side, Williams, Fato?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
I'm one of the TAs here from NICE. I'm at the lab for cyber resilience with Yuki Sensei. Yeah, so currently I'm working on long range roller networks and low power wide area network. So thank you.
Oh, good. How do we call you?
Fatu Williams.
Okay. Fatu. All right. Fatu. Where are you from?
I'm from the Gambia.
Gambia. Okay. Great.
Yes.
Yeah, we have very strong interest on internet inclusion activities in the covering uncovered area for the extension. So yeah, it's nice to talk with you. Thank you very much, and yeah, be good to the students, please.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Pompat Pichai.
Yes. Today he's absent, but he'll be here for next class.
Okay, all right. So you want to say some bad things about him then?
No, currently he's on internship. That's why. So it's a good thing.
Okay, all right, good. Thank you. And this side is Corey. Okay, he was there, right? Okay, all right. He's in there, but he's out of the room. So Shiba-san.
Hi, I'm Ryusei Shiba, so please call me Shiba. I'm an undergraduate student in my laboratories, and I'm researching about the network. So recently, I'm talking on the software emulation of network interface card. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Okay, so Aruta-san.
I'm Wataru Ogai from Bright-Sands Laboratory, and everyone calls me Alt, so please call me Alt. And my interest is in kind of network operating and like email or network security and some such kind of things. So yeah. And I'm a member of a team of operating Bright-Sands network, Bright-Sands Laboratories network. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. And before starting the class, then I have one message I'm preparing for you. This class started, as I said, 20 plus years ago between the two universities, NIST and SSC, with our good friend Suguru Yamaguchi. Professor Suguru Yamaguchi was a professor in there, and actually Kadobayashi Sensei replacing him because he passed away 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, so he's been working very strongly as a kind of pioneer work on the cybersecurity in this class. JP CERT is his foundation, and any kind of a cybersecurity research is he started with it. And so he's been continuously working with us for a long time in developing the Asia Pacific network, African network, and he's very much a leader of not only in Japan but also all over the world. So that was Suguru Yamaguchi, and then I have a message. So thank you very much for him for starting up this format of two universities working together on the cybersecurity thing. So Suguru, myself, and then from two different angles, I'm been involved in the government, and he's working together with me for the government, and then I'm a university side, and then he was on the Kadobayashi-san was on the research side, so we have a very strong team. He's from a government itself, and so this is very much, I mean, all the possible professors in this country talking about cybersecurity, everybody in this class, so you are lucky. All right, so I brought this picture. This is Suguru Yamaguchi. You see some familiar face, Fusuni-san in the back, right? But this is one of the Kanchanがいるから Asia Pacific thing. But I put the logo on the Internet Hall of Fame. So this year, the Internet Society, the Global Internet Society, decided to induct the Hall of Fame. They picked Suguru Yamaguchi as an inductee this year of the Suguru Yamaguchi-san. So this is very good, and his son is going to receive the medal to South America, somewhere. I was going to go. I had to go because I'm also inducted of Internet Hall of Fame, so I should celebrate the recipient, but I couldn't. So I sent his son to receive the award. So anyway, so congratulations. This is a proud of NICE itself. Congratulations. This is great. So 殿堂入り。インターネット殿堂入りですございます。This is okay, not popular. I mean, very special. All right. So this is about the class, and then so today, do you want the kind of administration thing first, or I should talk first? Grading. Yeah, this part, somebody, Shiba-san, or well, yeah, I can do that, and then you can follow me up. Basically, I don't know. You have to attend, right?
So from next week, I share you the attendance card. So please write any comment or question, and please attend this class. And in this class, group work will be held 2 times between with NICE and SFC students. So yes, so and the final student presentation is held by in SFC only, not NICE. So yes, you'll be randomly assigned to mailing list for group work by TAs from yes. So each group will consist of students from SFC and NICE. And TAs also join each of the mailing lists. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. And discussion on mailing list will be involved in your results. So yes, English only, so not Japanese. Yes, that's all.
Okay. Any questions? So very much, well, attending the class and then talking interactively. You know, I'm going to ask any kind of question to you after this one. So then, that's going to be recorded. Okay. So then you mark. So if you engage on the class, right? Engagement is important. So if you talk a lot, then you're great. It's going to be higher. Okay. All right. So this is something. Oh, we have to say something. Nara Institute only have 7 classes, right? Okay. We have 14. Therefore, we are doing together. Joint class is only the first 7 classes. Okay. So the very so important part is going to be your first 7 classes, right? So don't worry. And then secretly, the very interesting part is going to be the last 7 classes. No. Okay. And anyway, is there any participant, if you want to, if you want to participate on kind of latter classes remotely or the archive and the other things, then you can see that, you can review that, you can hear the video from the classes. We are recording all the classes, so don't worry, the NARA students, you will not last 7 classes as well. All right, if you want. Okay. So what else? So
Yes.
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So we have web access to this class, and for nice student, you can access via SFC GC. Do you know? Yes, it's SFC Global Campus.
No, they don't know it. Obviously.
Yes.
So, you know?
Yes, I'll share the link with the students here.
So document and video archives are available on SFCGC, so you can search via web browser. And registration to SFCGC is required for submitting. Yes, this is SFCGC. So SFCGC stands for Keio University's SFC Global Campus, and yes, you can. So after that class, you should check this site, SFCGC. And for SFC student, you can access to this class via SFC SFS. So document and video archives are available on SFC SFS. And the homework submission should be done through SFC SFS, not SFC GC. Okay, so that's all. So this is the registration on SFC GC, so for nice students.
Nice students must register this site to register every homework.
Okay, so nice students have to register at the SFCGC site in order to submit and participating on video viewing and other things. So is that going to be okay?
Yes, that should be fine.
All right, good. And then the students, if you are puzzled, then go to your student's assistant. All right.
And for the SFC students, you can access them via SFC SFS as usual.
That's also well known, right? You understand. Okay, good. This is all right. So then we're gonna start the discussion. So first of all, I'm gonna ask something. All right, something to you. My first question is, what is a very interesting advanced technology on the digital space, cyberspace, internet? What is your favorite new technology?
AI.
AI. What is AI?
It's a short form of artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. What exactly it is?
By using deep learning and stuff.
Okay. Deep learning is AI. All right. That's interesting. Okay. Anything else? What is exciting digital technology for you?
I didn't find my
You are not interested in the digital technology. デジタルテクノロジーで一番面白そうな技術は何ですか? What is the most interesting? 胸キュン、スパーク
ジョイ、スパークリングジョイインターネットテクノロジーは何ですか？The- what- You have a new technology around. What is your favorite one?
Oh,
マイクが苦手。
phones maybe.
Phone. Okay. Smartphone. Smartphone is an exciting technology. Okay. What is your most exciting digital technologies these days, or you are expecting for the future?
Not technology. I like human.
Okay. You like humor. All right. That's great answer. I like, but that's not technology. Okay. What is yours?
I would like to the internet.
The internet.
The internet.
Internet is old.
Lets us connect to other people
Okay.
all around the
Oh,
world.
in that sense,
Mm.
connecting people.
Connecting people.
All right, connecting people. Okay, thank you very much. And I have somebody from another as well. So, what is the most exciting advanced digital technology for you today?
Anyone?
All right, girl in the middle.
I think for me, it's maybe deep learning.
Deep learning. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because it has
Pass the microphone to the next boy.
So I'm really interested in cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin,
Okay.
some digital coin.
All right, thank you very much. All right, those are the great interests of yours, except for the human. And yeah, when we are talking about the artificial intelligence thing, and seems like AI is going to be everywhere, right? Every industries, every function of the society now, if AI means not only a deep learning, but also any kind of technology utilizing the data and then doing the dynamic and the sophisticated services. If AI means kind of broader definition of artificial intelligence is like, it's a more than automatic, and then utilizing the data and then customizing for you. That seems to be a kind of a modern AI definition now. And if that is AI, so then it's going to be everywhere eventually. Not today, but eventually, right? When you are getting on a train, when you are driving, when you are listening to the music, and then they all learn from you, and then try to adjust the best selection of music to you, best service to you. So most optimal route of the train exchange for your destination. Yes. Okay, two mics. Okay. I'm sorry. マイク持ってるとこうやっちゃうんだよ。All right. 癖だからね。Okay. So that's AI, right? And then so deep learning AI and that kind of thing. And then smartphone. Smartphone. How many users? What is the ratio? How many percentages of a Japanese population having a smartphone today? Guess.
I don't know.
Is that 100%?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because I know some of my elderly grandparents not use smartphones.
Your parents. Your
No, my
parents are young, by the way.
Yeah, my grandparents.
I mean, younger than me. So be careful. If you say my parents are old, then that means they're much younger than
No,
me.
my grandparents.
Grandparents, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
my grandparents and some of my neighbors. I know they don't
Okay.
use smartphones, so probably not 100.
All right. So
maybe
guess.
70%.
Huh?
70%. 70. 70.
70. All right. 70. All right. 70, 80, 90. All right. 70. Japan. 80. 90. All right. Yeah, that's about the fact, right? 80%. Well, actually, it's more than 100% for the sales of a smartphone to the population, because I have 2 phones already, right? So, yeah, brand new one. One is a brand new one, and another is a Japan-Korea friendship Samsung phone. Anyway, so the smartphone is a coverage is more than 90% actually, and then covering. So meaning that the more than 90% of the access on the internet is achieved. But the important thing is that getting back to the human thing, right? Her grandparents are not using a smartphone. If everything turned out to be a smartphone, and then authorizing and other important infrastructure operations going to be on the smartphone, it's very likely it's a kind of a tendency of a shifting, transforming to the smartphone use, payment and everything. But what about those people, right? Left over. That's a human issue, right? And so we call it inclusion, right? So we're going to talk about the internet inclusion things. And we briefly talked to her that internet inclusion is if somebody should access the internet, then we should provide the way. And so as the same thing, right? The smartphone inclusion means smartphone for everybody. But is that if we push the smartphone use, then that's not good. I mean, it's not make some people uncomfortable. So we have to be very careful. But those area, then there is a conflict and the issues already, right? So the AI providing their services fitting to you, you sometimes appreciate that, but you don't sometimes. Right? Okay, so then maybe the very strong offer of one type of a service to you might hurt you. Right? Okay, now the cybersecurity, from a security point of view, protecting people and the society means very, very complicated these days. So you list the advanced technology today. It's coming, it's being there, and it's exciting. But on the other end, there is a lot of risk, and more than that, and there is somebody who's utilizing that and they're doing a bad thing. Okay, so we think when we think of cybersecurity, then we always think the benefit of a digital technology. What is advanced digital technology? What is the power of AI? Well, how AI is constructing? Then if AI is going to get the very bad AI services, then what is the reason? How you can destroy, control AI for your bad purposes, right? That is additional learning when AI is deployed, right? So before AI, we didn't think about that. Before internet, we didn't think about the internet security. Before smartphone, then we didn't think about the smartphone security. Before IoT, we didn't think about the privacy and the security of the IoT. Okay. All right. So it's a lot to learn. Therefore, this class, we are not close eyes on the new technology happening. So we are watching always something newly happening, and if something new happening, then we're going to share with, you can share with us, and with the class that this technology, what is the impact of this in terms of good and the bad side of the technology. So in order to think that way, then I'm gonna briefly talk about the internet architecture. This is a, no, not this one, not this one. こういう丸がつながるみたいなのないですか? Sorry, I'm telling them, but then sometimes we have different images. They have all my strides. Yes, this one. Okay, I want to use this one. All right, thank you. Great. All right, internet. Okay, how the internet is working. Probably everybody understand now. I hope, but maybe not. All right, so the internet is working like this. This is like an internet. This is a picture of internet. So the important thing is that I have the internet, the THE. What THE means?
Only one.
Only one. Great. Yes. Internet is only one thing. This is important. If you read internet in katakana, then you miss that point. In English, it's only one. Single internet in the globe. So think about the planet. In this planet called Earth, we have only one internet. We have all the people connected by the internet, as you mentioned. All right, people are connected on the internet. This is a global space, not by the nations, not by the countries. You are connected each other on the internet without any help, except for the internet itself. Okay, this is very important. So the internet is a connecting internet. If you want to image the shape of the internet, then probably the best one I recommend to you is a little bit, it's a net to put the globe in it. So if you have a watermelon, then you have a net, right? So the same thing. Internet is covering the entire globe. So the planet covering. And the technology, talking about technology is very, very simple, right? We put the IP addresses, global identifier, to the other computers. And then, in order to read that the number, we have a names called the domain name system, right? And then, that is the resources, only resources we have. This is only resources. IP address is only resources. It's very simple. Then, internet protocol is moving the digital data between and sometimes among the IP addresses. That's an internet protocol. That's it. That's everything about the internet. And the EGP, IGP, exterior gateway protocol, interior gateway protocol is to guide the net to the destination. That's an algorithm to provide the cruising navigation mechanism. So two kinds. So internet technology is very simple. So if you want to be an internet developer, you can do so just learning how to write those software. So I think you're gonna need 35 minutes to implement the internet node, because that's very simple with the proper education. Okay, so that's the reason why internet so rapidly covering the entire world, almost entire world, right? That was the reason. It was simple, it was easy, therefore it deployed very fast. Okay, the impact of the internet. So we have developed the internet without the consideration about the boundary, any boundary. We didn't notice, and connecting all the universities, network, computers, and then we completely forget about that there is something in between us, and which is called the national boundary. We never thought about that. So that's a single internet covering, connecting all the verticals So particles is a yellow dots in here. So any particles, all right? In university departments as silos, right? In the world, nations are the silos, different. And so any kind of, currently in Japan, the policy is called connected industries. So this industry, this industry should be connected. So that's the law of the internet, right? So it's always the particles connected horizontally. That's the internet. And there's some more important thing when we are thinking about the security thing, a little bit more, is the next slide, web. World Wide Web invented in 1989 by a person called Tim Berners-Lee at CERN, the High Energy Physics Research Laboratory. They want your paper in your computer, and then we used to be collecting all those paper and put that in a single place so that everybody can come and read any papers. Instead, what Tim did was called hypertext, sometimes called link, and keep your papers in your computers because you are always anyway connected on the internet. Therefore, I have a link, I have a link, I have a link, and then the titles. So you click, and then you can get that resource over there without copying anything. So it's a distributed manner of storing any kind of a wisdom, knowledge all over the world. That's called World Wide Web. So since it's deployed, it's being standardized. The standard organization for the web part, by the way, is called the World Wide Web Consortium, which is located in this campus, in the INRIA campus, France, and the MIT, okay? And the Beihang, China. So those 4 locations, and then working on a web standard architecture. Internet, by the way, is a well-known organization called IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, is creating the standard. So by web introduction, then the browser is reading the HTML5 text, and then improving that standard are going to make the people to communicate, collaborate very well. And then you are watching Netflix movies, right? So movies on the internet, and there used to be, if you were the early adapter on the internet and the video on the internet things, then you sometimes have to install so-called plugin, video plugin, flash plugin. わかる人 plugin. Anybody understand plugins? Experience? Okay, you experienced that, right, in the past. All right. So, but not anymore. When you are watching the movies, then you don't need it. So it's standardized and built in to a browser. Therefore, anybody can see the movies about Netflix on a smartphone, PCs, and everywhere. So when you are the Netflix founder, and you started the Netflix, and you want video services, it's all there. That's the beauty of a standard. So a standard infrastructure is getting thicker, thicker, thicker. So the internet was the thing, in the web get the architecture thicker, and one more thing to add. So the web creating a lot of collaboration because everybody can share the wisdom, information, search engine, and everything. Go ahead. Then there is another layer of a standard distributed on the web and elsewhere. Something like a standard way of encryption and decryption, right? Okay. So, for example, if you are accessing the web, then it says the HTTPS. If you notice, right? it's a secure pipe from your browser to destination. So if you send a credit card number from your browser immediately encrypting your credit card number and transmitting to the destination. Destination recipient is going to receive that encrypted text, which only the destination can read and decrypt. No, decrypt and read. Therefore, it's safe. Okay, so that mechanism is sometimes built into a browser, or the supporting as a browser and elsewhere. But anyways, that's service platform standardization on top of and on the top of web and the internet. All right. So the security encryption and decryption is very important. Otherwise, probably after the search engine, historically, and then onto the online shopping, e-commerce, has never been achieved without the public key encryption system technology. For example, that's a service platform. If secure communication can be achieved on the internet, then a lot of business service can be provided. Therefore, it's if a new business on a web and the internet, it's just a software writing with a simple script language on HTML, JavaScript, or whatever, then you can create a services. So it's instantly 2 million customer services easily without investing a lot. So very inexpensive startup of the new services. So it's called innovation. If you have idea, then you can have new services on top of the internet. That's basically the entire story, very short, but the architectural basis. So where the cybersecurity goes, right? So of course, the service platform part is important. Infrastructure part of the internet also important in many ways. Like if somebody cut the internet, then the algorithm to detour the cutted part is going to survive the internet, and that algorithm is very important for the serious fragment of the internet. So that's also the internet security thing in the cybersecurity things. But also the encryption is going to be broken, and is a fast computer. That's also the threat of the internet. So it's everywhere. So, and the application as well. All right. Okay, so this is a technological architecture model. I want you to kind of revisit as an internet architecture. Is there any question on this? You understand, or you still puzzled? You knew that? You knew the architecture? Okay, but now you understand, right? This is what you are using every day, right? By the way. So, okay, let's go to this is nice, isn't it? Right? Internet development, just 30 years. Well, actually, I'm invited for the ARPANET 50 years anniversary events during this year 2 times. I'm going to visiting in October for the ARPANET. ARPANET testing was started in 1969. Unix operating system was started in 1969. The same year, the 70s, they're growing separately. As soon as the end of 70 years, they grown up and they get married. That's the internet. So Unix plus ARPANET protocol. Okay, that's the internet. Starting in the early 80s by University of California, Berkeley. So UBC. This is the 50th anniversary of the internet, 2019. So this is a memory year, but very young still, just 50 years. And the people started to use the internet in 1995. That's when the Windows 95 was born. So that was a bundled browser by Microsoft. And Microsoft started to call internet as a browser service. So it's really not, but anyway, people accepted the internet as a browser, so web. 95. So it's not very long time ago, right? It's a very, very soon, very short period of time. And then most of the people, like a 90%, more than 90% of the people are using the internet, right? So it's a very convenient, right? So I wanna ask how convenient internet is. Which part of the internet do you like? Why you like internet?
I like to play.
Huh?
I like to play in computer games.
Computer game, network game. All right. Yeah, that's a Pokemon Go. You know, Pokemon Go was created by the graduate of SFC. All right.
I like being able to access a lot of information.
All right. You like accessing any of the information. What about you?
Yeah, I thought of the free information.
Free information access. Okay. All right. So what about the another nice student then? What is the best part of the internet?
I love internet because I can play game online with other people.
Okay, game online with the other people. All right, what about the others?
I like because I can access a lot of information and also like communicate with people in different worlds as if we're in the same space.
Okay, communication, easy communication and convenient communication. Okay, what about yours?
Yeah, like communicating with the people, like on the same globe, anywhere.
All right. Okay. Communication, gaming, and accessing information, those are the beauty of the internet, right? Okay. It's everything, actually. Look at this map, picture. If you want to create something, then any services, and you can create anything utilizing the HTML5, if it's include the video, audio, and everything. So video communication can be created on top of it, and the very, very thin software programming thing, right? Because most of the pieces of the parts are already there. And if you notice, there is some of the devices, like a 3D printer on the internet. So if you share the three-dimensional model, and then you can print the exact material. So, oh, I like this cover of the iPhone, and I designed this cover of the iPhone. I shared the information over the social network, and then in the other side of the world, they can create the same iPhone cover instantly with the same format, standard format of a three-dimensional printer, right? So anything, that 3D printer model is extending to the mass production these days. So one famous tire company today, right? Tire. Wheel, I'm sorry. Wheel, tire, it's the same thing. Wheel, わかる? How the wheel is constructed? What made from? You have a car.
I don't have a car.
You have bicycle.
Yeah, it's made from rubber, I think.
Rubber.
Yeah.
All right. What's in it? Rubber is an external material, right?
Yeah.
All right. What is the internal material for the?
There's a hose that is also made of rubber, I think.
Huh? Rubber. What in it? The tire no nakami.
Steel.
Steel. All right. Steel and rubber. Okay. What else? タイヤは何?
Yeah, like the tire, like outside part.
Outside part is the rubber, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. What is inside?
The wheel, like
Wheel.
the bolts.
The steel.
Yeah, steel.
That's air, I thought. Air is in it.
Oh, I mean.
Air?
Oh.
All right. So air, steel, air, rubber, right? Is that tire of our images now? Okay. 3D printer. The tire company started to identify the strengths and the character of how flexible the material is, understanding the characteristic of a material, and then doing all the shapes three-dimensionally with a complicated shape, like a tire shape, without the air, just a shape, infrastructure, and then because the computer understands the materials and then how to construct a very complicated, complex structure, then it's bouncing like tire, and the strength is like a tire, no slippery like tire, made from wheat. All right, wheat. That's possible now. Okay, so now they started to work. They get if rubber is from a rubber tree, is basically it's a non-recoverable resources, and then taking a lot of rubber trees from the Africa, and then creating the rubber, nice tire, and the steel, but instead, they create from any kind of materials, and then reproduce the automobile tire. So if wheat is reproducible, right? Therefore, it's not reducing the Earth's resources, and then this can be done. This is going to be real in 5 years, I promise. It's coming to the everywhere. So this is a personal fabrication technology, like a 3D printer, and then creating the materials, and then to be used on a real product. And then it's good for this planet, right? So you design the tire. And Dunlop, the huge tire company, create the tire with that design, with the proper materials, with whatever you want as the characteristic of the tire. Okay. This is changing the mass production space of the world, right? If you have a 3D printer, you design a tire, and then you specify the materials, put the materials, then put your design, and then I can produce a tire instead of a Dunlop company. All right? What is the risk?
That it might not be as good as a specialized.
Yeah,
tire
if
company.
something happened, if the driver got the accident,
Yeah,
is that your fault?
that's a question. Because I just
You
designed
designed
it. I designed it, but
Right,
somebody else
right.
produced it.
But you specify the materials, right? So he printed that according to your design, and then make an accident. Your fault or
Possible.
his fault?
Possible if I specify that it's a tire that should be used. If I say that it's only for like research usage, it's his fault.
Okay. So if his printer is a little bit strange and it's not properly producing the 3D printer happening all the time, then that's not your fault, right?
No.
If 99% of your design was safe, and only he had an accident, seems like it's not your fault, right?
I hope not.
All right. See, this is one of the example that you're going to see. Whose responsibility? What kind of a regulation do we need for this space? We have a regulation in this space for the product liability law. And who's going to be responsible? So the internet is good in terms of a distributed manner, and everybody is going to be responsible, and they're working jointly for creating the new space. But there is always a new risk, right? Okay, soこれ何時までだっけ？半まで。Okay, the ラストスライド。すごい。話してるとみんなちゃんと並んでくるってとこがすごいですよね。いろんな山のスライドの中こうダイナミック。見えちゃうとこがねかっこよくないけどね途中がね。Alright. So whatever. Alright. So the you can create one. I mean the slide that I want. The last slide from me is just a single word. Yes, this one. Complicated slide. I'm sorry. Okay. Abuse. All right. Technology is nice. Internet is nice. And we can do anything. And very easy. Providing a lot of new things, exciting things. I started this question from what is your favorite advanced technology? And then you said many things. All right. So, somebody, what is abuse?
Abuse. I don't know.
You don't know. All right. What is abuse in Japanese?
I don't know.
You don't know. What is abuse?
虐待?
虐待. All right. Good. Child abuse. 虐待. Abuse. Huh?
Peer pressure.
Okay. What is abuse?
What abuse is?
Yeah.
Abuse is using your power for something bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the abuse of a technology?
Abuse of technology is using intended good technology for something bad.
All right. Okay, good. Good technology. I mean, technology was designed and created to be good.
Yes.
But using that technology for bad purposes.
True.
All right. Thank you. See, that's an abuse. In Japanese, we sometimes say akuyo or ranyo. What is ranyo? 何 ranyo って? All right. Internet used by a company called Google. Is that abuse? Abuse だと思う人? Abuse だと思わない? 思うよ。Alright. 思うよね。Okay. Internet, Twitter used by Donald Trump. Abuse だと思う人? Alright. What else? Internet used by Mangamura site. The Pirates manga site, famous one. Abuse だと思う人? All right, thank you very much. じゃあ最後、Internet used by Facebook. Abuse だと思う人? おー、増えた。すごい。Okay, thank you very much. It's a kind of something between Akuyo and Ranyo, right? We don't think Facebook and Google doing the Akuyo, the bad use, but then the Ranyo is using for the kind of beyond the line of the purposes, or considered to be good beyond the line. So that's basically a discussion about the abuse of the internet, right? So any good technology provided invented very rapidly, especially like an internet, then there is a people who abuse the technology. Cybersecurity is to deal with that part. Therefore, it's very important that understanding what the advantages of those technology, what is new technology means, because it's always the smart people who's doing the abuse of that technology. So it's a very difficult. So you said pirate site abuse, everybody raise a hand. And then Facebook, somebody raise a hand. Google, somebody raise a hand. So it's a kind of ambiguous thing in between, right? So if they are taking our private data too much, if you think so, then Google is an abuser. But providing a nice services, Google is a good user. By the way, what is the opposite word for akuyo? Do you speak Japanese? Do you speak Japanese? You speak Japanese, でしょ? All right. 悪用の反対、日本語で何？悪用すんなよっていう時、お前は悪用じゃなくてよかったな、いい使い方したな、偉い偉いっていう時、何用っていうの？悪用の反対。
なんだろ
わかんない。Who speaks Japanese? All right. 悪用の反対何用？善用。いいね。俺も好きだよ。善用。悪の反対するんだもんな。All right. What is a different opposite word for who said you don't? I mean, all right. What is the opposite word of abuse? What is the opposite word for abuse?
Just use?
Just use. Okay. 何? Abuse の反対語。Opposite word. All right. Nara Institute. You are the answer. What is the opposite word for abuse? みんな、yeah, he's Googling. He's searching over. What is the opposite word for abuse?
I'm not sure if there's a single word for the opposite, but I think proper use or something.
Proper use.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. All right, in Japanese word, akuyo and the zenyo is good. Zenyo is good, right? Good purpose, use. Many people, my friend on the internet space, the internet pioneer friends, they say ethical use. And so I was wondering, what's going to be a proper word? So obviously this class is focusing on cybersecurity things to think about, to understand the cybersecurity abuser of the new technologies. And then, so in order to do that, then we have to understand the other side of the power direction, which is the ethical use, good use of people without rule. People sometimes doing the good for people, loving people, understanding people. Okay, so that's a technology should be used for. Not only proper use, but yes, extending that, good use. Right? Okay, probably that's about me, and we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes left. Well, I'm going to pass the microphone to Adobai Sensei. I'm sorry I'm taking too much time.
No worries. So this is fundamental because the cybersecurity, for some elitistic thinking, some people think cybersecurity can be solved, right? Solved, like proposing a technology that solves something, right? Or some public perception that the police has to kick in and the police has to do something good and capture bad guys, and then that's it. For instance, that kind of thinking persists, right? So you know, the cybersecurity, you know, internet is connecting people, right? And you know, people, you know, ranges from good people, criminals, and Donald Trump, to good people, or very good people, like Murai-san, right? Innocent people, like babies. So that's a thingy. I mean, you know, we are connecting people, good and bad, and we are doing something good and bad on the Facebook, Google, Twitter, whatever. Right. So that's kind of tough call, because you know, people, you know, sometimes criticize the internet for, like, you know, something bad, like drug trafficking, I don't know, you know, mass emailing, you know, private information leakage. So it's kind of difficult, because you know, we are just people, collection of good and bad people, and you know, sometimes those elitistic people look at insidious problems, and then you guys have to solve it, right? For instance, spam, right? Spam is kind of persisting problem, right? Spam has been around since maybe 80s.
Yes.
80s, yeah, and it's almost 40 years since spam has been invented. You know, spam is a great invention, by the way. You know spam industry. So who knows spam industry? Who has spam industry in your country? Nobody? Yeah, so actually, if you look at some part of Africa or some part of Eastern Europe, spam is you know, very, you know, excellent industry. I'm telling you the truth, because, you know, these people getting jobs for just having internet, right? And just by sending spam, they get 1 cent, 2 cent, right? And they make their living. That's truth. I mean, they are making very good use of the economic gap and creating jobs for, you know, less gifted people. That's spam, right? So the spam operator in those countries are heroes. Heroes, right? If you are in doubt, maybe you can go get somebody in Nigeria or somebody in, you know, Eastern Europe, right? For instance, fake news. You think fake news is a problem, right? But fake news is also a great industry in Eastern Europe, right? And they're making money out of just writing something, right? Brilliant news. And so depending on where are you looking at the problem from, you know, the perspective of the, you know, your use or your abuse, these things can be good or bad, right? So it's tough call, like I said. You know, there is kind of technology to stop spam, but then you know, there is people, right? There is entire industry of spam, and they need to, you know, evade those detection, evade those, you know, classification systems, whatever, because they have to make their own living, right? So that's spam. And like DDoS, you know, same thing. Fake news, same thing, right? There's business, there's people, there's bad guys, there's insidious guys, there's the creative bad guys, right? And the creative good guys. So that's cyber, right? So you know, cybersecurity is about, you know, securing something, right? Interactions, right? So do any of you know about the definition of cybersecurity? Do you know? Or maybe you're coming here to learn about the definition of cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is not just technology. Like Marcin said, it's about interactions, it's about safeguarding, it's about tooling, it's about procedure, it's about rules, it's about policies, it's about, you know, governance. So all of those elements are included because, like Marcel said, we have Melon, and we have Net, which is, covering this big melon called Earth. And then, everybody involved has access to cyberspace, right? And the cybersecurity is very simple. The security of cyberspace, right? Security of cyberspace. And the cyberspace is, ever evolving. Like I said, the drones, 3D printers, robots, they're also forming part of cyberspace, right? Like, these cameras, etc. So they are, extending reach to the real world, right? For instance, factory of the future or industry 4.0, somebody may have heard about those kind of things, right? The factory having lots of sensors so that you have more productivity, like predictive maintenance, these kind of things. And yeah, so that's extending the reach. For instance, previously we didn't reach into factories, right? Factory or factory, right? It's very classic old, like steel mills, etc., assembly plants. But nowadays, factories have those sensors, cameras, and telemetry, etc., so that when you have extreme vibration of a particular pipe, then you know that this pipe may break within 2 weeks, right? This predictive maintenance is making mainstream because predictive maintenance makes us lots of profits, right? You can run the factory more reliably, more stably, and that's gonna be, meaning more profits, right? And these things, I mean, cybersecurity is not just about technology, right? Not just about smartphone, right? It can also cover those aspects like autonomic driving, like Saikawa-sensei said, or like factory, right? Industrial IoT, that's a very important part of the business. Right, so maybe you get the idea, cybersecurity. Yeah. Then a quick question, what cybersecurity is not? Can you define or can you pick some example based on our discussions? Nominate something which is not considered cybersecurity. Any nominations? Somebody? What cybersecurity is not?
You can get additional point.
Yeah, bonus points, right?
Take your name and the 学籍番号, your ID.
Any ideas?
I have no idea.
Any ideas? What cybersecurity is not? Any ideas?
Public page or something.
Public page of web?
Google or
Google. It's a very inspiring question. So is open resources exempted from cybersecurity? Yeah, that's a good question. For instance, if you think about your profile on Google, right? Your profile. You put something like you are working at KO, right? You're doing something good, right? And then if somebody tweaks this page at one night and you become some drug trafficker, right? You import marijuana, for instance, for Japan, big business. And you have big Bitcoin payment link, right? Overnight. Then you are becoming criminal one day, right? Even though it's public page. Then are you safe? Yeah. And same goes for Facebook, for instance, and same goes for maybe fake news, right? So the integrity is at risk in these cases. Integrity, right? Cybersecurity is not just about keeping something secret, right? And you said the open resources are maybe not subject to cybersecurity because it's not secret, right? But integrity is key issue, right? Because you being a drug trafficker, that's gonna be a problem, right? You are, chased out by the police, and maybe you are jailed at one day. By the way, that's happening in some other part of the world, right? Somebody from Philippines? Nobody? Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be that the Facebook is a big warfare there, right? Writing something on the Facebook may result in something significant, right? And integrity means, something you have written remains, as you intended, right? If it's modified by somebody else, then its integrity is breached, right? For instance, you may have some, report, right? You may hand out some reports to some professor, and you have student ID there, right? And overnight, somebody came into your lab and replaced your student ID with something completely garbage or his own ID. Then it's going to be a problem, right? Manipulation. This is a big threat, actually. Right? All right, very, very good feedback. Any other views on what's not cybersecurity? Any views? Any ideas? Rough ideas would be good. You don't have to be right? Because this is about interaction. We are learning from interaction, right? Any ideas?
後ろに手が。
Blockchain?
Blockchain. So you mean blockchain is cryptographically secure, so it's not under cybersecurity, right? That's what you mean?
Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
You said blockchain, right? Blockchain is not cybersecurity.
I mean, 質問なんて
サイバーセキュリティでないものは何か？
すみません。
Yeah, because he said blockchain because blockchain considered to be safe.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yes.
Okay. So yeah, so actually I do blockchain security standards in Geneva. I actually work with China Mobile and those guys. I mean Alipay or US guys to work on blockchain security standards, DLT security. Yeah, and you may think blockchain is very good, very secure because it's using hash function, it's using encryption, right? And it's very cool technology. But there are lots and lots of ways to work around those safeguarding, right? For instance, a very simple thing happened in the past where, like his example, we had some open web page, right? Open web page saying, please make a payment to this link, through this link. And they had a Bitcoin payment link, right? And in that particular incident, this Bitcoin payment link has been just replaced, right? And then what's the end result of it? Having different Bitcoin ID. What's the result? What's the outcome?
Somebody got your money and you don't know who.
Right, so that very thing has happened, right? Somebody replaced Bitcoin payment link so that, you are, calling money, like, ICO, initial coin offering, and then you didn't get any cent, 0 cent, $0, right? And somebody criminal got $1 million money, and they went away, right? This kind of thing happens. So, Bitcoin is not super perfect, cool, ultimate technology, right? Wallet, very simple thing like wallet, and those payment link can be attacked, right? And in another example, you know JavaScript, right? Somebody who writes JavaScript in this room. Many people, Node.js, right? Those kind of things. So JavaScript is full of libraries, right? And those libraries got backdoored. You know backdoor? Who knows backdoor? What is backdoor?
Backdoor would be a way that, like an unofficial way to get into a system that isn't authorized. So you find basically like a hidden door into the system. That's all.
Right. So the JavaScript library had some hidden door, right? And the end result was targeting wallet, blockchain wallet, right? There was some library with backdoor, like Trojan horse, so that your wallet has been attacked, right? That kind of things are, you know, many examples does exist, right? So blockchain is also part of cybersecurity. That's my answer. Okay. So with that, Murai-san.
Okay, great. So we're gonna continue the discussion in one by one from next week, and I hope you're gonna join the discussion. And so by saying that, is there anything from?
Starting time.
Okay, starting time is 11:05. All right. So for both of the classes, so for SFC, then 5 minutes earlier than your the other classes, right? So be careful. Be 5 minutes before in this class, and appreciate. And then the Nara, then please adjust 5 minutes time zone difference between the Nara and the Fujisawa. Okay. So
Okay.
anything from Nara? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Domo arigatou. Thank you.